10. Hi guys, General Splatting here. Got another quick review for you. This is the kind of a follow-up to the Andrea color the black paint set. What I'm going to be reviewing today is the flesh paint set and the white paint set. This is the rest of the sets that I have, so I thought I'd just do these two in one. Less interested was for these sets that I have and how I did particular colors as opposed to the black. I got just so much interest in the black that I had to do it separate. So without further ado, the first one here is the white paint set. You get 6 paints again, an easy way to paint white clothes, matte finish, and then the other, as you see there, the flesh paint set, easy way to paint skin. This is a satin finish for the skin, because the skin would appear have more of a sheen than clothes generally would. So alright, let's start with the white paint set. The back shows you how it works. You get a base, first light, second light, a third light, then a first shadow and second shadow. 17 milliliter bottles. The opacity is very, very good. Coverage is excellent. They say one coat coverage a lot of times, but I've found might need a second coat sometimes, depending on what it's going over and that type of thing. If you're going over a white undercoat, probably would be a one coat type base coat. Alright, you get the 6 tones as I've shown you there. Let's get the sheet that comes with it that explains it, the white paint set. And once again, it has the products, things like that. They do have a lot of other sets, but these are only 3 I have: the black, the flesh, and the white. And you get the instructions once again for painting the base, the first light, second light, third light. And like I said before, I do the base and I do shadows and then do highlighting. It's just the way I roll. There's no right way, no wrong way about putting down highlights or shadows first. I mean, there's your way. Do what you feel comfortable. I feel comfortable doing the shadows first. So, and it tells you, explains to you how to do each one of those. Okay? I'm not going to read these off since I got a lot to do on this. Now, I do want to make a quick, and you get, here they are. Let me lay them out here for you. Then I'll show you the colors on some paper. These are very, very thick. I don't know why, but they do come out of the bottle very, very thick, and they have to be thinned down quite a bit, but it's something that's here easily worked around. You get the base, first light, second light, third light, then a first shadow, second shadow. And notice something about it. As you look at these bottles, you're probably going, well, let me show you the colors now on a piece of paper. Alright, excuse me while I get these out of the way. Alright, and here it is. There, you got base, first light, second light, third light, first shadow, second shadow. In other words, white's going to come out pretty creamy, you know, not white, unless you use a lot of the third light. I think they got maybe these colors a little wrong. I think these should have been a little whiter through here, so that you could get a more predominantly white, as you see on the. But I think their thinking was that, you know, people are going to be wearing dirty clothes. They're not always going to be white. See how the miniature here is painted dirt and grime and a little bit of white right through here. That's the only thing I can think of why they would do that. You know, it's white clothes. They're going to be have some dirt on them and whatnot. So, you know, they're not going to be predominantly white, blazing white. So I guess that's the reasoning. I'm just trying to figure it out myself. But there you go. It will tend toward the creamier colors unless you use a lot of this third light to bring it up to more of a white tone. but I want to show you it's still very good products. They do blend extremely well. They go on extremely well. Very smooth coats. These would be the matte finish for the white. Excellent product. Like I said, they do come out thick, as you see here how it's rigid. The ridges in the paint. All I did was just squeeze a bottle out and use the top to move them around a bit instead of having to use a paintbrush that I'd have to clean. So that's it for the white. Let's go on to the flesh. And here's the flesh. You get base. You get a second base, so you can paint darker. Like if you were going for a African skin tone, then you would be able to do that. But you get a first base, a second base, then you get a first light, and then you get a second light, and you get a first shadow and a second shadow. So I mean, you can use all of these in any combinations you wish, but if you're going for a predominant Caucasian skin tone, obviously you've got the ability to do those. But if you're going for like an African skin tone, you have the ability to do that as well with these three. So it gives you both options. But you can, if you're going for real a very tanned skin, then obviously you can do that for like a male skin. You'll be able to do that. But if you were going for a very light skin tone on like a woman, or perhaps if you're painting elf skin, you would be able to replicate some of that. You might have to add some colors to it to be able to do that, but certainly some white or cream color, you would certainly be able to do that as well. So you got a lot of different choices and options to be able to paint basically any kind of flesh tone that you want with what you have here, the 6 colors, before you even went to add some black or some red or cream or white to this mix. So you got a huge amount of variation right here in these 6 colors. Okay, now let's put these off to the side. Now get the box out. Here's the box, like I said, and here it shows you. Now they do it a little differently on this one. You get first base, second base, and then it shows you first light, second light, and then first shadow, second shadow. So that's what it would look like. And you can paint, like I said, you can take this base and then add the shadows here, and you can, and maybe a little black depending on what exactly African skin tone you were going for to be able to do the darker flesh. But certainly you have a lot of and with Andrea, they like the big contrast in a lot of their painted figures. So, and certainly you can do lighter or darker or any of these tones. Now here's a little pamphlet that you get with it. It does help. It's not very in-depth, but it shows you the legend about the first base, second base, first light, second light, first shadow, second shadow, and it shows you. Now this nice thing about this one, it shows you the different skin tones right together. You got a lighter skin tone, but also the base tone for doing the darker skin tone, and then for first light, both of them side by side, going into second light, then doing the shadows for both of them, and then finally the final shadows for both of them, as you see here. So gives you all of that. It's basically laying down the base color and then adding, mixing the base color with first light for this tone, and on and on and on till you get to where you want to stop at. But Andrea is very much known for this, where you get extreme shadowing on their miniatures that you see on their website. So that's why you would see that, kind of the monkey boy face there. But believe me, it looks a lot better than what it's showing here. All you got to do is look to the German soldier here to see that it all works for them in the overall scheme of their miniatures. Might look very stark and harsh there and not realistic. Like I said, a monkey type face where it's very dark on the sides like fur, and then it lightens up into bare flesh. But it does come together very nicely. So that's basically the review. Oh, I got to show you the tones, don't I? Duh. Oh, here they are. Alright, this is first base, second base, first light, second light, first shadow, second shadow. And there's the tone. So you can mix and match these and come up with a vast amount of skin tones and flesh colorings to your heart's content before you even added any kind of other colors to it. I have a DVD where a Golden Demon winner talked about, and then it showed the flesh set, and he said that is all I use for flesh. And I kind of sold it on for me. That made me want to do a little research inside of, yeah, if somebody that is winning awards like that, and he's a multiple Golden Demon Award winner, would just period say, this is all I use for flesh. It made me sit up and take notice. So like I said, and it's good. It's a satin finish, very easy to apply. They go on very smoothly. Add some water to them so you can get some nice blending characteristics to be able to get smoothness on the skin, and be able to blend and layer even those skin tones together. This would work very well for layering, especially when you're mixing the colors together. So a lot of opportunity to do some very, very nice detail work on your hands and arms, legs, and especially the faces. So it's a product I highly recommend. I recommend both products. I've used the flesh more than I have the white. I've used the white very, very limitedly, but I've done 2 or 3 figures with the flesh, and well, you've seen the results. The Anima Tactics figures that I did for the competitions, that's what I used, and you saw the results of how they turned out. I'm getting better doing flesh and faces, so it's only going to get better over time as I get more used to them and get more experience doing skin tones. So that's basically a review. If you have any questions, anything I can help you with, these are in the 30s as well for the prices, and you can find them on eBay for $26, $27, $28, $29, $30, and then you have shipping on top of that. So they're going to be more expensive than you would pay for a Reaper or GW for that matter, but you get more than a GW bottle would, and it's money well spent in my opinion, especially the flesh set. The white you might want to hold off on or think about or do some more research on, but I highly recommend the flesh set. That's all I use for flesh, just like this other person. So, have any questions, let me know. This is General Splatting. I'll talk again. Dismissed.